Edo Commissioner for Roads and Bridges, Engineer Uzamere, don't raise salute to Governor Gordon Obaseki for the chance when he gave her to serve for the 8 years of your administration. Engineer Uzamere yarned this one for one to session with Tori people on Friday, November 8, 2024 for in office. Una go remember say Governor Obaseki tenure go end as governor for November 12, 2024, and na dis one come make the commissioner think am say e dey necessary for am to share wetin im learn and wetin im achieve as im service for the outgoing administration don reach the end. For the talk session, Engineer Uzamere answer plenty questions wey concern wetin im don do as a commissioner for Ministry of Roads and Bridges, how the ministry go take continue, and whether im go still work with the new government if dem give am appointment. Dem come also ask am about the completion of the state CID road project and whether the ministry don pay all the money dem dey owe.
About 8 years in public service now, I also want to take a break and do a lot of reevaluation on the last few years and see how to move forward. I don't think it's just about jumping to positions that easily without even doing a self appraisal on my previous appointments. Okay, for me, I think a lot of people don't know my history in government. Probably I can just mention it a little bit. I came into government as a special assistant, then also as a personal assistant, then an executive assistant, an executive aide, executive advisor, a chief of staff, a commissioner of mining, then a commissioner of oil and gas, a commissioner of energy, and a commissioner of roads and bridges. And that is about 5 executive council roles in a period of 8 years, but in terms of council, it's actually a period of 6 years, because that's when I now stepped up to be an advisor from executive advisor. So I think for me, I owe Gordon Obaseki a lot. I think he saw something in me and he brought me to always go to spaces to reform spaces, and at the same time even let people know what we've done in a space. You see, the bigger question is that we don't see the problems we have in a country, in Nigeria. Let's just see what happened a few days ago in the United States of America, right? They went to the polls. Weeks before the polls, people did early voting. Then, right just before even the voting was finished, you can also even see they even announced the person that was victorious. So what that shows is that you see they have a system that works. But you come here, you see a country, you see we lack good policy, we lack rule of law. You know, in terms of roles, like you asked me, if he really lived in Edo State prior to His Excellency Mr. Gordon Obaseki, it would be very unfair not to even give him accolades on road construction. Where he focused most is especially in the internal connectivity roads. Yes, there were some things that were hyped out by uh, informal media groups of him saying he doesn't work on federal government roads, which is very false. You know, we did a lot of work on the Benin Lagos road. We did a lot of work on. We are actually working on the Benin Abraka road as we are speaking, which is going to be which is going to be completed soon. I think about before I even came into this ministry, it was about to work on the Benin Saple Road, which, if you can remember, it was kind of even chased away from there. I don't like using that word chased away, but it's told to stop until we came back. I think last year having a tripartite agreement with NNPC and the Federal Ministry of Works to work on the road now, as you see. We did a few palliative work, which I'm not. I don't really like palliative works on roads because, especially roads are very heavy, they are heavily used on the Benin Asaba road. You know, if you look at Edo State and look at the money Edo State gets compared to the sister states, even in the Niger Delta area, Edo State is like the lowest. And if you look at the topography of Edo, if you are coming from the southwestern part of Nigeria, you are going to the other south states, you are going to southeast states, you are even going to some northern states, you must go through Edo. I mean, think about it. If you are coming from Lagos on the ports and you are going to rivers, you must pass Edo State. If you are going to the southeastern part of Nigeria, you must go through that Benin, come through, then enter how you find your way to the Benin at Boasaba Road. You are going to the north. There are one or two other options, but people still, for some reason, come through Edo and go through the Benin Abuja Road. So his argument was very simple: pay more attention to our roads. And when it comes to roads, you see there are different road classification based on tonnage, on how heavy the trucks are, the vehicles are. Then how much does the state earn? I mean, last year our budget was about 45 billion, and after so much review went out to close to 80 billion a year. But how much does it cost for you to do a kilometer of road? I mean, you are looking at close to a billion, 1.5 billion to do a kilometer of road, and that's just even doing a statewide technical part of a kilometer of road, not the heavy, high tonnage roads. And are you trying to say averaging about 60 kilometer of road in Edo is good enough? That's not. People want more. It's not enough. So, in terms of managing resources, that was an issue. But I think in what we got and what we tried to achieve, the governor did very well. It was not. It's not an easy feat because a lot of planning goes into it. Then there are other factors that affect roads. You see, I said earlier is that we don't have strong policies, strong rule of laws that are even enforced in the country as a whole, and that's why people like me think that's why we are where we are today. When you see a lot of cars in Nigeria, that cars use the roads, right? I don't know the data, but when you do your findings, Nigeria is like is a recipient of salvage vehicles around the world. There was a viral video that went up about a year or 2 years ago about a southeastern country. A woman was saying that we go to Nigeria, buy crude, bring it to our country, refine and send it. Then all the cars we make, when we are tired of using it, we send it to Nigeria. I don't know if anybody saw that video. It was about a year or 2 years ago. That is what we are. Most cars, most heavy duty vehicles you see in Nigeria today, they are cars that are rejected from another country. You see them driving, you see them putting petrol on the asphalt on the road, it's leaking petrol, leaking diesel, and those things affect the roads. So we need to say, how do we solve issues? It's not just going and carrying heavy machinery and dancing jangolova everywhere with paying press, and you go back there, nothing's happening. Because there are people, we are in Nigeria, we're actually suffering. I mean, look at where we are today in Nigeria. Nobody's talking. I mean, nobody's having it easy in Nigeria. Even the big men, nobody has it easy in Nigeria. How much does it cost you to feed? I don't know if that makes sense. So we have a lot of problems, and I think our biggest problem, economical problems, and we don't have strong enough policies to even enforce issues. We have, I mean, in Edo alone today, we have more than 10 universities in Edo State. But how many companies can hire those graduates when they graduate from work? How many companies are in Edo? In the modern world, if a state has 10 universities, you see a lot of businesses there because it's the easiest way to grab them from school. You have them, you keep grabbing them. The best engineering schools are in Edo. Ambusali is known for at least back in the day as one of the best law schools, in Nigeria. So we need to, for me, the governor did very well, but also we also have as a people be very honest with ourselves about what are the issues in this country and how do we move forward. I don't believe we can move forward with hate. I believe we can move forward with asking the right questions and saying, where do we go from here as a people in Nigeria? Because, we are seeing what's going on in Nigeria. Everything is going up exponentially. I don't know how everybody's surviving, but for me, it's difficult.
Some three people constantly ask the commissioner how a ministry take manage avoid wahala with anti-corruption bodies like EFCC during the time when he dey in charge. Other three wey dem touch include the moments wey give am joy and the one wey hard for him time as a commissioner.
As a ministry, one thing we did was transparency, and there's a reason why we did everything we do. That state CID road you spoke about is a very important road. Also, there's another road just like that, which is the Wotubu road we are doing by Children Medical and the Owina Axis. Those are concrete roads because those are one of the things we decided. Okay, let's explore this technology of doing roads that can last 50 years guaranteed. And let's see, one of the issues of roads in Edo is which is erosion, also solving some erosion problems there. But however, um, they are you have to do things the right way. We as a ministry, which well, I'm not in the finance part, but what I can guarantee is that we paid most of the certificates available. Paying above the certificates is fraud at the end of the day. You cannot, if somebody brings it a certificate, it's not advisable to pay above a certificate because that's not, it's like paying for something you haven't received, and without a guarantee. Yes, normally they're what you call advance payment guarantee, but that's normally starts with an advance of a job when the job starts. So the first percentage of the job that you pay an advance, but when a job has passed the 25% stage, paying more than a certificate that is brought to you is not legal. Those jobs have gone at an advanced stage. They are being used by the people. I mean, I'm sure you go by there and you see it. So I personally don't think the new administration will stop something like that. Those are monumental projects, and because of there are even bigger aspect of projects like the erosion control areas. I believe they will continue with those projects. For me, I think it's transparency. Very transparent. I push transparency and competence. You know, so I think every job that been given to this ministry was properly advertised, followed due process, and every job that I've been given, like I said, we have very strict certificate law rules inside as an internal mechanism of the ministry. And those are enforced. We have pictures of what we've done. We have a lot of media as well, and to me, we are open for any kind of probe. And the staff of the ministry have done really well. I have to commend them, led by the permanent secretary. Um, so I think it's just being transparent, which is very key for us. I don't know if I had a sad moment as a commissioner because as a commissioner, it's a call to service. I think I won't say a sad moment. What I wish is I wish I could do more. You always wish you could do more. Um, like I said, I've held different offices in government, and I think I've seen a lot of foundational problems. I will give you an example. My mindset going everywhere is to reform. So I'm always like I'm a reformer. I will give you an example. This is the last office I've held in government, and the first thing when I got this, I was surprised to get this ministry, and I will thank His Excellency Mr. Godwin Obaseki again for that. I came with the mindset, okay, I will bring about 10 outside consultant engineers to come and work with me. And I said, the first day I came in here, I called all the directors and the permanent secretary and said, I asked each and every one of them, what are the issues that we face in this sector? And after a 20 minutes conversation, I was convinced I didn't need anybody from the outside and I worked with everybody inside here. So I see that within ourselves we can make things better. And I think that's one of every position I've gone, that's what makes me happy, that we as a people we know the issues. We know the issues, and I think we have to find a way to get things done. And I think one of the ways to get things done is to think differently. The way things were in 1999 is not the way things are now. You are journalists now, and you can see now with somebody with a phone and can claim they can do the job that you do, with a phone, and they just get followers, and you're surprised. It's so you have to evolve, and to me, it's evolvement. And I'll give you an example. When people were saying our roads don't last or certain things on the road, I said, okay, where do we? I mean, as as a ministry, how do you test the product the contractors give? And they say, oh, they have labs that they go outside and they test. I said, okay, why don't we have build our own internal capacity and build a lab inside the ministry? And we built a lab, and I think that's one of the great accomplishments I accomplished there. And we saw that when the outside lab even brought their result, that is good, when we test it here, it's false. It doesn't. But who do you blame in that? Do you blame the contractor? Do you blame the ministry? Yeah. So when we started testing our own product with also testing with other labs, we saw that we started getting even a bit better, better, better roles done. Then there was an issue of financing. Yes, that's the biggest problem. You know, I'm sure anybody that attains public service, they know one day they will come out. And when the day they come out, they know people will ask them, "What did you accomplish?" So they want to do a lot, but when there are economical problems, at the end of the day, like you say, like the chairman of NUJ said, you have to pay these people. The contractors are not doing a social service. How do you pay? So for me, looking at new frontiers, say, okay, let us. There was a window for concessioning. So the process of the Benin Asaba concessioning starts, and I think when that process is finished, it's going to be the way people will look at government will look at future government will look at in accomplishing road construction. Even last week with the Brace Commission, I had to go from here to Port Harcourt last week, and I think going when I was younger, going to Port Harcourt from Benin, I think it was like 4 hours, if not even less, 3.5, 4 hours. It took me a whole day. So even the problem we have is not just Edo, every other state. And when somebody said that, listen, the wealth of the country comes from the south, but the south in terms of infrastructure is the worst. Is the worst. So what is the problem? So we need to look at different ways of getting things done. So that's and when I was even there, and I even sold them the concessioning agreement, what we're trying to do with partnership with Delta State, and a lot of states for the past week have been calling and saying, how did you do it? Where is the process? How do we even start those conversations? So I think the happiest moment is looking for new frontiers. Happiest moments is seeing that even the internal as a well you are at the head of a ministry, you are working with civil servants. They are very intelligent people, very intelligent. They are resourceful. They know what is right, and I think it's just the leadership that have to point them in the right direction on what they want to achieve. So I think those are the happiest moments. For the future, I don't know. I can only say for today. I don't know. And I think God will guide us forward. My thing is, whenever I'm in a space, I try to do the best I can to my capacity, and try to even do more than the best I can. And it's not easy navigating the political space, and it's grace. And I just thank God. And I also, like I will say again, thank God Obaseki for giving me the opportunity to showcase my skills.
Make una no forget say, as we see am, na so we dey talk am. We no dey take blame. From Benin City, Ekata Ojisole, TMC TV News.